Very hard because Mac isn't here and I'm very scared of what I'm gonna say. But someone,
Where is he anyway?
He is at home.
He's at
Doing what?
He's sick.
Oh, okay.
Get
That's
well
why he's not
soon, Mac.
here.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so in his place, we're gonna be handling AME After Hours for this week. So
Hello and
introduce
welcome to my
ourselves.
AME After Hours.
Yay!
Yay! Hooray!
Okay, so this is I'm Eric.
I'm Aliyah. Hi, nice to meet you.
Anton.
And I'm Stephen.
And today we will be talking about manga.
Mongos.
Manga. Something lighter for this week.
Yeah, and if you didn't know, we have a new person here. She did introduce herself, Aliyah.
Say hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, so she's not a replacement for Mac today, but she will be joining
A
us.
substitute, you'd say.
No, she's not a
No,
substitute. She will be
She is
joining
her
us
own
Oh,
I'm an
starting
addition.
now and
Ah,
later
okay,
on.
alright.
Yes.
Alright.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So,
We can start by talking about manga, and one of the things in our list of things to talk about today is on why you should read manga in the first place. So why don't we start from there?
okay.
Let's see, Anton, what do you think about manga?
Okay.
Why should you?
I actually read a lot more manga than I watch anime these days.
Interesting.
And the main reason is that it's just way easier to consume.
In what way?
Okay, first of all, I don't need to download anything. Unlike anime, I have to go download it. First, I have to decide what I want to watch. Then I have to download it because I don't like streaming. So then I have to download it. Then I have to sit there in front of my computer for 20 minutes. 'Cause I don't like watching anime on my phone either. Because I have to put headphones on. Then I have to I don't like having headphones on in public. So especially if I'm outside, I would rather much if I have free time, I'd rather much just read a manga because I open up my app. It's on the Play Store, so it's not like it's illegal or anything. But
Wow.
if you get the Play Store version, it actually takes out all licensed manga. So I don't use that version. So
He
so
uses something else.
I use a different version. But yeah, so it's easy. I just have and it's the app I use. I'm not gonna say because Max said not to specify things, but it gives a lot of recommendations. It has like daily reading lists of themed reading lists based on okay, do you want romance between childhood friends, like that, the usual generic stuff.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's about people being reincarnated or something else, those are usual themes.
Isekai.
Yeah, so or eating dungeon monsters. Those are the kinds of things. So it's sometimes I see something interesting, I'm like, oh, I want to read that. Or sometimes it's just be one of the random ones that's just there. It's oh, I like the cover art of this, so I just read it. And with anime, where where exactly am I going to just find random stuff? Because like I said, I don't like watching outside. For me, manga's convenient. I can watch it on my bed. I can just be lying down. I'm sleepy. I'll just go read some manga while I'm tired and stuff, instead of having to go through all the hoops of watching anime. And another thing about manga is it's really easy to read. It's very fast. You just have to read the text. You read the text, especially a lot of times I don't even really fully read it. I just I just kind of skim. Like
You look at the art. Oh, that looks good.
Yeah, and I get the gist of what they're saying. It's kind of like what they taught us in the speed read in terms of how you speed read. The first time you read something, you just kind of 10 minutes. You read a 20-page paper in 10 minutes. You just kind of skim through it. That's kind of how I read manga. It's kind of I don't really pay that much attention. I guess it's not unless I'm really invested.
Are you enjoying whenever you read manga that way though?
Well, if I'll pay more attention if I care.
Okay.
But honestly, most of the time when I read manga, especially because I watch or I read a lot of random stuff.
Alright.
And I have to see whether it's worth reading. So when I pick up a new thing, I just pick it up and then I just kind of read. I'm like, okay, do I like the art? Do I like the way it's going? Do I like how it's presenting its story? And it's kind of just a quick dip into it, and if it's good, then
You test
I'll
the
keep
waters.
reading, yeah.
It's cold.
so yeah. And then
Go in here.
and for example, in let's say in Shokugeki no Soma, that's a manga where I really didn't care about them talking about food that much because I don't really.
What were you there
So
for?
you
then?
skip the explanation.
So when they talk about like, oh, this food is so good, and they're just like going off about how well it tastes, and like, I don't really care, so I just can skim it.
you skip it until the reaction scene.
Well, I don't really care about the reaction scene here. I'm more there for like the whole kind of like battle between. I'm there for the competition, not for the food. You know, like it could have been about anything. I know it doesn't matter to me that it's about food, even though the other people that's like the main draw. But to me, it could have been about anything. But I just read it because I wanted that feeling of like, oh, these people are in a competition with each other, and that kind of like, it's kind of like the sports anime vibe.
Yes.
So
Definitely.
so yeah.
That's a recommendation.
Well, I don't really like Shokugeki, so I can't recommend it.
What about you, Eric?
Okay. So, why I read manga? Well, for one, it's much easier, I guess, to find original topics or themes when it comes to manga compared to
Original.
anime. It's more like I just find that when I see anime, there's like I won't say that all of it, but quite a few of them are already adaptations of past anime,
Or
past manga,
or visual novels, or light novels,
and stuff like
or
that.
light novels that turned into manga,
Yeah.
turned into anime.
And compared to light novels, mangas also have visual.
Element to that.
And, yeah, they have pictures.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
Lovely
there-
pictures.
Yeah.
pictures.
It's not all to your imagination. I mean, the mangaka already supplements some of those for you, but it's still stimulating to find something that's pretty much new.
Like it's not an adaptation of anything. It's like it's an original IP from the get-go. I guess in manga it's definitely much easier.
BL. BL.
Well,
That's also
Someone was talking
that's
about
why,
the genre.
That's why I read manga, because you really can't find much BL anime that's not an OVA or an
Censored.
ONA.
Censored.
I guess it's I guess it's kind of a good grace that we got a BL anime last season, but it's not really the norm. It's more like
usually there's like
outlier.
one or two BL animes, you know, in there.
And they're
Yeah.
not
You have like your
usually
super
good.
lovers or your
yeah,
I can't even
maybe
think of
like
any.
once or twice a year.
Yeah.
Probably, something
And they
like
don't
that.
adapt the good ones.
Well, I guess that's because they really haven't found them yet.
They're not popular.
How about you, Aliyah? What makes you read manga?
I usually read the same way as Anton. So I just find the tag. Like when I'm in the mood of an isekai, I just search all the tags about isekais and just read them all straight at once when I have time. Also, there are times when you read manga, like for example in horror, when you flip the page, there's the sudden shock when you see the creepy pictures.
Oh, since you mentioned it,
Oh yeah.
because the way I read in the app I use, it lets me read vertically. So like there's no
Scroll.
loading. There's no like I don't have to like flick the page. It's just all
Scroll.
That's-
straight. It's kind of like manhwa.
Yes, that's manhwa.
But I like that because I don't need to flick.
But the shock of horror images.
That's true. When I read
It's
Uzumaki,
the wonder
Isn't
of flipping a page.
Isn't that
Yes.
good only if you're actually holding the real thing or you have a good internet connection?
Well,
Because you're gonna have to wait
in an
for
app,
the
it
page to load.
preloads the next
Yeah,
pages.
that's
Preload
true.
I
that.
haven't used apps. I still use browsers.
Browser users. You're losing the
Why don't
great
you
thing.
open in the next tab?
Oh, that's
That's tiring. Considering that you have to do it every time you see a new page. It's like, oh
But
my
he
God.
gets the luxury of seeing high quality scans.
Fair enough.
Or download?
no,
Alright,
it takes up
so,
space.
So where were we again?
About flicking pages.
yeah.
Alright.
Yes.
Because manga is basically like a book. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's not.
Practically
It's
a
like
book.
it is a
It's
book.
like yeah, it is.
Well,
a
okay,
book.
when you say a
no,
book,
It,
it's
there could be
not.
like a tankobon, like they're like
like
a
a-
weekly thing.
It's still a book.
The whole thing's a book.
It's on paper. It's printed on
Yeah,
paper. It's a
print-
book.
It can be printed. You can read it online.
I guess some people call it magazines because of
Yeah.
their
magazines,
speed in release.
Comics.
comics. In the West, they call it comics.
Actually, in Japan, manga means comic.
Yeah, that's actually just what it is. So
Yeah.
Alright, so we go to you, Stephen, now.
Me. What was I gonna say again? Oh, a lot of the stuff you guys said already, also the stuff that I had ideas on. But one other thing that I like is, I guess, I have to put emphasis on the art because I you know, like my analysis or like my thought of manga is that their art is really good because artists can usually there are some
sometimes,
artists, yeah.
sometimes.
It depends, I guess, on the skill of the artist.
I think
But
the
then-
thing is when you make the distinction between anime and manga is manga, you know, you just have that one page and you pour all
everything, yeah,
and like
all,
with
all
anime,
your, all your passion on your skill.
yeah, every like illustration, that's like you just have to do that one time.
Especially if it's a double page, right?
Yeah,
Mm.
but with anime, you have to redraw the same thing over and over and over again. So you can't, you know, like if you have seen like Shirobako, you know, I think they talk about how like you have to simplify character designs
That's true.
because if it's too complex or if it's too
It will cost a lot.
you can't animate that. It's too hard to animate because it's too complicated. You have to like kind of make things simpler.
CG.
That's why old cartoons, all old cartoons are like that. Like you see an old cartoon, like any of those old like hose cartoons that are, you know, that all the designs are easy and you know
Yeah.
they're simple. They're simple shapes. That's why like, manga, you don't need to worry about that.
That's why you'd find some people saying, "Oh, I like the manga art better."
Yeah.
Well, that's because they have more leeway to pour all their artistic talents into this.
Oh,
Yeah.
also the
one
pacing of
page.
the manga is better.
Okay, let's talk about that. Let's just make that my reasons why you can read manga. Manga is like in that limbo state. You know, there's the light novel or whatever other source material. There you can pour all the pacing, all the details you want.
Yeah.
You get little art, usually just the cover.
Yeah,
and
it's some
color
characters,
pages,
some-
illustrations.
yeah, just
here and there.
random.
But you get all the chunk of the details, characterization, story, plot line, all the explanations are there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a light novel. For the manga, it's between light novel and anime. In anime, you can add visual, sound elements, color, etc. But in the manga, it's like, you know, it's in between there. So you get the convenience of reading a manga and some of the more important parts that you get from the light novel. But it's not, you know, it's not that
It's
kind
not
of
as constricted as manga.
inaccessibility as an anime would be, because you know not all manga graduate and become anime.
Yeah.
So
Not all of them get
I like how you
funding.
call them
Yeah.
graduates.
Or they get a anime and it's not good.
it's like the animators or like the studios. They go into this warehouse filled with all these codes, and they have to like pick which manga they can animate from as a source material. But you know, why not just enter the warehouse and then just get that as a finished product? You know, there's vast, so much more manga than there are anime.
Yeah.
So
Covering many genres.
the world is at your hands. It's just not in color.
Yeah. I mean, some of them
Color
are. Some of them are.
Color pages.
You can do a full color manga anyway. That's gonna be costly though, but you can do a full color manga.
Let me think. Do I have anything?
There's
have I
a
read a full?
manga
Oh,
that I-
JoJo. JoJo is they re-released it as full colored. So
Yes, that's the same for one manga that I'm reading. They're starting to release
Yeah.
chapter by chapter full color.
Excellent.
yeah, that's really fun. But you know, that's one of the things in anime is when you have an image of your head of what characters look like, and then when they show up in the anime and they're colored, but their hair is like a different color than what you imagine. Negima is a good example of that.
Gotobun.
Quintessential quintuplets.
Well,
Gotobun is a
well, they
research.
had color pages in Gotobun,
Yes, but
so
the
I kind of
hair
knew.
colors
it's
are
also very
similar.
Yeah,
And in fact, in some scanlations, it's the scanner, the translator, and the color that assumes the hair color.
yeah,
And then you as a reader, when you're skimming, you're like, oh, so that's their hair color, or that's his hair color. When it comes with the anime visuals, like, wait. Well, oh yeah, I guess that's another good thing about why to read manga, because I think there's a really nice community that's been formed around this. As you know, Japan, that's where you get the manga. In there, it's cheap.
yeah. Very,
You can
very
find
cheap.
it in most
Convenience
Convenience
stores.
convenience stores. I have
Even
one.
kids
7-Eleven.
can buy
I
it.
have one. I have a
Oh no,
big
it's Family Mart.
magazine
They have Family Mart and stuff.
filled with that certain week's manga when I came to Japan. I just had to buy one. It was pretty cheap. So I guess the community that scans and translates these, like props to them, like amazing work. No one's really paying them.
And actually, it's really sad because one of the scan later teams I follow, they do like shoujo manga and stuff. Every post that they do has like
begging.
begging for money. And I'm
Guys,
just
we
like,
need
oh man,
donations,
that's
man."
really sad. Because I mean, like these people are basically buying all these magazines themselves, and then they're scanlating it for like nothing really. Which
Yeah, so why the read manga? If you want to support these people, these brave heroes in translating, read some manga. If you can think about donating for them, or
Support
And
the
if
original
you-
artist as well.
support the original artists as well.
And
Yeah,
if you
no,
have
that's really hard to do.
And if you have skills, consider volunteering.
Or if you don't have skills and you want to be taught skills.
Yes.
I've considered doing that in the past, but you know that takes up a lot of time.
Manga played the role in inspiring me to learn how to draw more or less. Yun. Anything else to add?
Not much.
Not much? Okay. So let's get into the part where we become true fans.
True weebs.
Who wants to start?
Oh, are we gonna start giving
By
out
Sean.
recommendations?
Yeah, okay. So
Yeah.
for this segment, we're now gonna talk about some manga that we would like to recommend to you, dear listeners.
It's okay. Specifically, we're gonna be recommending ongoing things.
Ongoing, since
So, you know, don't expect...
classics you should know by now.
Well, I mean,
Well, there are classics that are still ongoing.
yeah.
Hiatus ex hiatus.
I would love to give...
my God.
I would love to give old manga, but manga that's done.
Let's keep it fresh.
Yeah, let's stick with newer stuff.
We
Or,
can do
or things that are...
recent as well, right?
Yeah.
Recently finished.
I guess, yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay. Let's see where our
'Cause I'm not really
conversation
sure how far
takes us.
the manga I'm reading is still gonna go.
Right, first up on the batting plate,
So,
Anton.
is it me? Okay. Oh, God. Actually, you know what? You guys go first.
Really? Okay.
I have a long list,
Who
so...
has a ready
Even.
pitch here?
I guess I have some, but a lot of
Do you really wanna start
of
with
the
me?
manga that I'm reading recently got an adaptation.
I think that's still fine.
Yeah. Actually, that's the thing. Is for me and Steven, I'm sure like a lot of the manga that we would have recommended.
Well,
Mine won't.
but it's already discussed the previous previous podcasts.
I guess. Okay. Well. Okay. Let's just name the really obvious ones: Kaguya and Gotobun.
Yeah.
Yakusoku.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
Neverland.
Sa Puno Neverland.
So like those three, basically, you know, those are like really three really huge manga properties that
Yes.
suddenly got an adaptation. what were the ones from last
Slime.
season? Oh yeah, that one too.
Slime. Let's see, what else? Okay, so I guess there won't be much of a point in talking about them. Or,
Well, I guess we could talk
can,
about
we
what
can.
we like about them specifically.
Okay, we can compare
Okay.
anime to manga.
Let-
If I should bother reading the
Let's
manga.
talk about Gotobun. Well,
Gotobun.
okay. Gotobun, I only watched the first episode, but I didn't really like it all that much. And I just felt like, why should I watch this? When I can
But
just read the manga?
what's different in the manga?
Okay, well, for one thing, the art is better.
The art is
Yes.
better.
The art is better.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, the anime just... The thing is, when everything is moving, if it doesn't look good, I'd rather it just not move. You know? If you're
Leave it to your
gonna have
imagination.
ugly movement, then you might as well just be stationary images, because, you know... To me, it's kind of like there's like a zone where if it looks bad, then it's worse than it just not moving at all. So that's why with manga, it's like, okay, since Gotobun doesn't look particularly good, I'm like, why not just read the manga where, you know, even if it's not moving, it's not colored, and there's no voices.
You could say it becomes more of a collaborative work between the imagination of the reader
Yeah.
and the art presented by the mangaka. So when you see the still frame, but then you know there's still some dynamic movement to it, like someone running, you could just leave everything else in your imagination, like, oh, this person's running to this place, she's crying, or like he's shouting, it's a race. Everything could be left to your imagination, and for you, if you love that manga, if you love how it's being set up, it becomes so vivid, so like amazing in your mind.
Yeah.
So props to manga for giving us readers some free creative freedom in that sense.
For some
Anything
reason,
else?
Really,
was speaking of an uncanny valley.
Uncanny
There's the
Valley.
art.
Iba yun,
Yeah,
ano
I
yun?
guess.
From
Well,
3D.
That's
yeah.
for 3D.
Yeah.
So with
stuff.
Gotobun, I guess really it's just that I just like all the characters. So like the thing that really got me into it at first is I really like the MC. Even though I guess he's in some ways he's
Relatable.
become more generic as I think about it more. But like,
It started non-generic.
yeah, like the reason I like the main character of Gotabun is that he's like, he's really smart, I guess. He's smart, but
Straightforward.
yeah.
But now he became a dense.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Is he's become dense. But like at the beginning, he was like, oh yeah, this guy's really smart.
Yeah.
And you know, he and unlike other smart characters in anime, he's not just like naturally smart. He actually like really has a lot of tactics, real life tactics.
Like recently we lost that, especially in the latest arc, which we don't have to spoil right now. But
I dropped the latest arc. I got tired.
wait, we're
reading
recommending
it.
Gotobun, aren't we?
Well, I would still recommend it.
Read Gotobun.
Because I want to know what happens. I still want to know what happens.
Yeah. I think I'm still invested in Gotobun.
But the pacing is better in the manga, of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
And like we said before, easier to read. So you know you can get through it more quickly. Like the more slow parts you can just
Yes.
can kind of just zoom past.
So all three of you guys agree that it's better to read the manga.
Yeah,
Currently.
honestly,
Watch
In
the anime right now.
In comparison to Kaguya-sama, right?
which is the opposite. Kaguya is like the opposite,
Amazing.
where
Yes,
and you should read
both
both,
are
or you should
amazing.
do both. You should
No,
read both,
You
or
should
read it and then watch
the
it.
anime first.
Should you watch anime?
Yes, you
I
should
don't
watch
know.
the anime first because there are a lot of scenes in the manga that are skipped in the anime, but the pacing is still really good because of the animation.
Yeah,
But
let me-
I also think that it's fine to read the manga first because you can read the manga and then you're like, whoa, I didn't expect them to adapt it this way.
Yes.
Here's what I can say about Kaguya,
and
the manga and anime.
recent climax is really
We'll get to that.
good.
Okay. So for Kaguya in particular, this intellectual property, it's actually a different experience reading the manga
Yeah.
and watching the anime. And I think I find that amazing because in the manga, sure, you know, there's nothing skipped because yun yung source material niya. And you get the full experience of reading a funny rom-com. Is it rom-com?
I guess, yeah.
A rom-com
It's
manga. such
more
as
more
Kaguya.
calm than rom, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's great for that. But when it comes to the anime, you know what? These directors, these animators, they added something else.
Yeah,
to the
it's-
anime to make it amazing as
It's
well.
not a really like by the
anticipation
books.
and the
Yeah.
vibes.
Unlike most manga adaptations, where it's literally just copying frames from the manga.
Which isn't wrong.
Well, I
Nothing
mean,
bad with that.
I think that's wrong. I don't think you should do that.
Like
Depends on the type of manga.
like truly faithful to the manga.
I don't think you should ever just use the manga as your storyboard, which is what a lot of these mangas or these
There's a
animes
thin
do.
line to walk though.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know. Like at that point, it's like I was saying, why not just read the manga? At least if I read the manga, it'll be faster, and it's the exact same. Like in terms of like the way there's been just lots of anime across the past years where really you could read the manga and the anime and look at them side by side, and they're almost the exact same. Except the manga is probably better because the art is better, and it's not as the animation might not be as good. So or the animation is not good, so it's watching an anime doesn't really add much benefit.
yeah, that's why I'm saying it's like there's a thin line between staying faithful and adding your own.
That's what I think you should. You can stay faithful to the plot without having to, having to basically copy paste.
I like
the
to say
manga.
Kaguya, but actually there is a plot. It's amazing
Yes.
plot.
Well, yeah, there's a rough through line of what's happening.
Well, in the anime, so far
so
you'll
glad all
just
of
see
three
two
of you know this.
tsunderes fighting each other, but in the manga, you will see the slow character development of the characters, and they will be more complex as you read them.
And you know what? The experience is prolonged, especially if it's a good manga. Some might disagree, but Kaguya is currently at 134 chapters.
36.
36 in
135.
Japan.
36.
Oh, really? 36 has come out already.
Yes.
The last one I read was 35.
Oh.
You haven't read the climax yet.
Is it?
I'm
okay?
just right
not sure if it's
before
translated
the
yet.
climax of that.
Yeah. Oh wait,
Silence.
look, we might as well say Kaguya might be ending soon. Just say.
No,
it definitely
As
won't.
I
Is it not?
said,
Okay, not.
And
Okay,
I
okay.
don't want it to end. Anyway, what was I saying? This is a weekly release, right?
I think
Yes,
so. Yeah.
it's-
Yeah.
So imagine like you'll be satisfied and happy, and sometimes cliffhung for several weeks. Could reach years, and then the experience doesn't end with that. When it's anime, it's like very seasonal,
Yeah.
and it's easy to forget if it's a forgettable anime. But if it's a manga, you get a weekly update, very frequently. So I think if you want to read if you wanna remain engrossed or involved with the how a story develops in manga, it's good because the pacing in terms of release dates is constant and prolonged.
Yes.
To be honest, I don't really like reading manga that's not done.
Takes too long or no.
I don't.
Because you don't
No,
like cliffhangers?
I don't like consuming things that aren't done in general.
Oh.
But how I handle it with manga, and this is what our friend does, is basically he just reads so much that, you know, he gets a
Isn't it?
trickle of releases every day or so. And
Yeah.
then you kind of just. But at the same time, the problem with that, you just kind of forget what happened the last. Like a lot, like when I was reading Gotobun, like
Yeah, but it's
there was a point
convenient.
where I'm like,
You
I
just
kinda
go to the
forgot.
previous chapter.
Yeah, but then
I'm
You-
refreshed.
I'd rather
Or
just
you reread
you know.
everything.
You
I'd rather
reread
just
everything.
read everything on one go. But since with manga, manga takes really long to end. That's actually the one thing about manga I don't like is I feel like they a lot of times tend to make things go on longer than they should. I feel like a lot of manga can be wrapped up in 30 to 50 chapters, but they make it go on for 200 plus.
Because behind all this is a guy that's trying to get a job and earn
Yes.
income. Dark side of manga.
Yeah. So that's like the reason why I stopped reading Shokugeki is because I just got tired of waiting every month,
the
every week,
latest arc isn't good.
every week for
Just
like
have to say.
barely anything. That's also why I stopped reading Horimiya. Is that I was already getting tired of it, and now I have to wait a month. Horimiya is a monthly series. I wait a month and I barely get anything. It's like 13 pages for a month. Like that's
I'm just happy when it releases because I don't really stalk the manga itself.
Yeah.
So when it shows in the app that I use that it's updated, I'm just going to.
yeah. Like when there's that manga you really like, and then you see it get updated, like oh my god, it's another update, and you're just like. Especially because I guess with manga I don't know the release date. Unlike with anime, when you watch anime you know what day it comes out. With manga I don't know. Like there's no like list of when the mangas are what
don't.
day they're released.
I
So
don't read anime.
Yeah, I start with my
alright, go
Okay.
ahead.
sorry. Okay,
Okay, so Eric's recommendation
Okay.
is
Okay.
alright, so I'll be actually recommending BL.
Because
So-
of course you would.
I'm so sorry, it's just I really like
I don't have to
BL.
be sorry.
Anyway, I guess this is not for everyone, but
That's true though.
I've read my fair share of BL.
well, you're a special case. You pretty much depend on your liking of the manga.
I'll read anything. I'll read anything.
You'll read anything
What's the
disregarding
difference?
Anything
what's
that's
your
anything that's not isekai.
yeah.
There's my
Yeah. So, well, for one, I really like BL, and for two, recently that's the only thing I've been reading.
There's no difference between romance manga and BL.
BL is just it's a romance manga that's between two guys.
Yes.
So
I don't.
And the only
Boys
difference
love.
is that the what's it called? The hetero one can become an anime. The BL one much harder to become an anime.
Much
yeah.
the market is that's why nga, you know.
However, BL is very prominent in the doujin scene, so
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, so the manga I'm gonna be suggesting, well, mainly because I've just recently read about them again. The first one is Tadaima Kairi. It's an Omegaverse.
oh, there's a manga that's an Omegaverse.
Yeah, Omegaverse, same-sex parents. And
Are you serious? I never thought that there would be an Omegaverse
Yeah.
manga. I thought that was a fan fiction only
for
thing.
for the first chapters, it revolves around the story of the mother of the same-sex relationship.
The quote unquote mother.
Yeah. The thing is, because he's the Omega, so he has a very low self-esteem.
Wait, so do they still have the smell stuff and all that?
Well, they're already mated, so pretty much they kind of don't really dabble
Oh, okay.
too much into the heats and everything. But
Oh god,
he
the
still
heats.
does have the heat cycle, and it still troubles him very much because
Wait, what's the title?
Tadaima Kairi.
Anton's searching it right this moment.
Because he really loves his partner, but the problem is he thinks that he's not good enough for him. Firstly, because he's Omega, so that's already a very bad reputation in itself. And secondly, because his partner is an alpha.
But isn't that how in Omegaverse? Isn't it? You have to be with an alpha. in
True,
Omega,
but
so-
then family of the Alpha was considering that maybe he should have married another Alpha instead, or something like that. But
I
instead,
thought you had to be Omega to Alpha.
you had the Alpha can choose who he
Okay.
wants to be with.
If you guys don't have any
I
idea
am
what we're
very
talking about,
But the thing
just
is-
Google it.
but the thing
Just
is-
Google Omega
But
first,
the
you'll
thing is,
understand.
the Alpha loves him enough that he proposed to the Omega if he will want the Alpha as his husband. So first, that in itself already is so much drama for me that I really am invested in it. And then they have a baby.
Of course
Yes.
they do.
And the baby is very cute. The baby will adopts so much of his father's mannerisms and everything. And the baby also shows to his mom how much his mom's life is making his father's life better, his baby's life better, and everything. And they're also the parents are also doing everything they can to make the baby happy as well. And it's just so cute and so fluffy, and I'm just gonna die every time I see a new chapter. And then, yeah, it got the second volume, and then they had another baby, which is a girl, and then
Whoa.
she's like, oh my god.
You are
you're
spoiling
even more
everything.
precious." I'm
Yeah,
so
don't
sorry,
spoil
but it's so
people.
cute. It's just very cute, and there's a side ship I really like as well. Yes, there's a side ship in this.
You are
If you-
spoiling all the plot
Alright,
points.
anything else? Before you spoil the entire plot to people.
I'll stop now. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
stop now. Okay, so that's the first one, and the second one still BL.
Of
Sorry.
course, you did say just
You have to
BL.
say sorry for that.
But
Come on.
I mean, if
Well,
I,
it's
proud.
2019, man.
that's not the thing. I mean, I just wanted to have a much wider repertoire. Anyway, so the next one is the title of the manga is Given.
Given.
Yeah, it's about a band formed by college students, I think. Yeah, I think I remember that they were college students. 2 from the arts department and 2 from the science
Oh, yep,
department.
this looks like BL, right?
Yeah, that is BL. I mean, it's not centered so much on the BL, but as it's centered on the relationship of the 4 band members that were kind of ubiquitous. Their meeting was kind of ubiquitous in nature. So you have the guitarist who is really headstrong and ends up falling for the bassist, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bass.
Nice guitars.
Or are they both guitars? I can't really tell.
Yeah.
I can't really tell strings
That's
from
6
each other.
strings, so yeah, that's a guitar. Those are both guitars.
Yeah. Alright, so yeah, the 2 guitarists fall for each other and stuff. And they have certain angsts that they have to...
Yeah. Can't have a band thing without angst unless it's Kayon.
Well, more like angst from the past.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not angst from in between them. It's more like angst
Oh,
from way
okay.
back.
Alright.
So, yeah, the reason why I like it is because one, the messages of the band members really speak to me as a person, because sometimes I tend to also get lost in thought about my own existence and everything.
Whoa.
Yeah. Pretty much that's kind of some of the questions being answered in the first volume and everything. Yeah. And if I look much further into the relationships, I mean the what's it called? Rabu rabu.
Lovey-dovey.
Lovey-dovey.
Yeah,
Rabu.
between the if I look for the lovey-dovey, I mean it's also cute in its own way. It's like they're like basically they're like treating it as a puppy love. Like they don't know what to do, they don't know how to act, and I think that's a very interesting way to show relationships between, I guess, same-sex band members. Yeah, same-sex relationships between band members. Yeah. So
BL's great. Go watch Dokusei if you haven't.
that
Cute.
Thanks for the recommendation. Dokusei?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Dokusei.
that's the
Classmates,
one?
Yes.
I will try
It's
to
good.
find time for it.
It's good.
Like I know some
it's
people
good. I've seen
some
the trailer
people
for it,
say
and it
that's like the
was
best BL thing to come out in like years. So
Yeah. Hey, so those are my recommendations. Sorry. That's all I can say for recommendations. They're both BL, and I hope you find it interesting.
yeah, we here in AME, we all love BL. Like
Yes.
no, there's no one here who doesn't love BL. No, I'm just gonna make a sweeping generalization like that. We all love BL. We actually love BL more than all other forms of
More than
L.
Sky.
He's joking. But
Alright.
it's true that a lot of people read though.
Yeah. So that's So
Thank you for those recommendations.
yeah. I will be actually leaving.
Yeah.
So that's
So,
why I wanted
Eric
to
will be
get
be
this
having
out.
to go.
Take
Alright.
care.
Thank
Bye.
you.
See you guys.
Bye.
So, who's gonna be next? Aliyah? Are you gonna be next? Or
Well, I
recommending?
can, but I
Go
have four. But I can briefly
Yeah, go
describe
ahead.
the
Yep.
four
Yeah.
ones. So I'm going to focus on manga that are not going to be adapted to anime
How sure are you?
Yeah, how do you know?
yet.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
okay.
you say there's no plans.
Yes,
at
there's
this
no
moment.
plans
Right.
because I have a lot of mangas that are going to be adapted this year. So I'm just going to skip those. So for the first one, I'm going to recommend Komi-san is
Yes,
communicating.
Well, that's definitely getting an anime.
Yeah, that'll definitely get
Yes,
an
but
anime
there's no
adaptation,
announcements
so,
yet. So basically, Komi-san is about a girl who can't communicate well, and her aim is to have 100 friends.
Yep.
Yes, and it's fluff all throughout until the current
It's
chapter.
hashtag relatable.
Yes, it's very relatable, and all the characters are very fluffy.
Wah,
Yes,
wah.
fluff.
I have that on my list. I haven't actually started
Yes.
it yet though.
So that's a very brief description. To if you really love your fluff, there's a cult online of Komi-sans, and nobody would want to lewd Komi-san except
Don't
for
lewd
Oh.
Yes,
Komi-san.
don't.
I'm sure people lewd her.
Yes, there are some, but only to Tadano.
The safe kind of
Yes.
looting.
Yes, the same kind of looting. So that's my first recommendation.
Good.
My second one is The Way of the House Husband.
yes.
Yes.
Yes, that
Yes.
So basically, it's a ex-yakuza being a house husband.
one. Yeah, it's kind of like a gag manga, I guess
Yes.
you'd say.
And if that doesn't catch you,
No man, he's
yeah,
completely serious about being a house husband. It's not a
Yes.
gag, man. Just kidding.
well,
It's like one of those serious comedy.
Yeah,
yes, and it's
hilarious.
very hilarious. I don't know how they do it. They have the same joke over and over in each chapter, but they still make you
The thing
laugh.
is, the entire setup of the story is just so absurd that you can't help but just laugh at the way the entire, like, for each chapter, the way the joke just it just slams you in the face and you just can't help but laugh.
Those kind of manga are actually really common, aren't they? Like they have like that one joke, that one like kind of concept. And usually it's some kind of like gap kind of thing. Where this one's like, oh, he's a badass, but he's also
So,
a
like,
house
yeah,
husband.
just imagine a former
They kinda
mafia
just-
dude. He's now working as a loving husband, but then he still kept his mafia
Yeah, he's
ways.
still a huge badass.
And the way he talks is just like one of my favorite scenes was probably like the
Yes.
when he bought a vacuum, like an automated vacuum. It's like,
And also the times that the police are kept catching him because
yeah, everyone's just
they
so
thought they
serious,
were-
but then you know it's
I'm
all
like,
a joke.
he's not doing anything wrong. He just looks like this.
Yes.
Everyone assumes.
and all his lines are very suggestive of
Yeah.
doing something wrong.
Oh, but my absolute favorite moment there, it's not even from the main character himself. It was
The wife?
no, the one of his underlings.
Ex-underlings.
Ex-underlings, where he Googled something before a fight. It's just so hilarious.
So that's my second one. Can I make it 5?
Go ahead.
Okay. So my third one is if for my daughter I will defeat even the
I also know that
I will
one.
defeat even the
Demon.
The
Is it Demon
Demon
King?
Yeah.
Oh man,
So
I know Demon Lord one.
basically, very great adventure adopts a. Is it a spoiler if I told? Well, it's not spoiler. Adopted a demon child.
Yeah.
Yes, and basically a lot of discrimination, but mostly fluff. Happy
Yeah.
family fluff.
This one's based on a light
And
novel.
Father, daughter, fluff.
Yes.
Tama ba? Light novel yung
I
source niya.
think it's a.
I know
well,
it's a light
a
novel
really
first.
long title, so let's assume it's a light novel.
Yeah, that's a good.
Excellent deduction.
Okay, the next two ones that I'm going to recommend are all one-page chapters
Oh,
series.
okay.
So the first one is Tomo-chan wa Onanoko. So basically,
Yeah.
the main character is a tomboy, and her best friend and,
And
crush
yeah.
treats her as a boy.
Yep.
So
That's very popular.
yes, it's very.
I actually
it's also
expect
very
that to get an
popular.
anime at some time.
Yes, but it's currently on hiatus because a really great it's a joke inside the community that every time there's a big progress, there's also a huge hiatus.
Oh.
So the recent chapters presented a really huge progress, so we are not even expecting
Poor
releases
readers.
anytime.
Consistent manga releases.
Yes, but it's really great. It's really, really great. So I recommend it. And the last one is Musu Telepathy.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Musu Telepathy.
So basically, the main girl can read the thoughts of everyone.
Yeah, and then there's a
And
guy.
and she can see an imagery of what the people thinks about. And there's this guy who's really who's not really expressive, but she can hear his thoughts, which is basically eluding her.
Yeah, her boobs are so big.
I wanna talk to her, I wanna kiss her, I wanna marry her, and do XXXX blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And they don't even talk to each other a lot at first.
Yeah.
Man, you'd be so bothered if you could.
And she is really bothered.
Is it out of her control?
Yeah.
It's out of
She
of
just
her
reads
control.
people's minds.
Unfortunate.
Yes, and it's funny, but
But it gets
because
heartwarming at
it's-
times.
Yes, it's more on her imagination though. It's explained sometime, but I don't want to spoil it. Basically, she slewed herself. So that's for my recommendations. I have a lot more, but they are going to have an anime already, so I'm not going to discuss it anymore. So who's next?
You wanna go or you want me to go?
Okay, I'll give mine. So my recommendation is just gonna be just for fun because I really found them amusing. One of them is the Putin manga, Ride On King, the Ride On King.
The one where he's riding a bear or is it a tiger?
He writes by Baba Yasushi as the manga. Ride On King. So it basically follows this. It's a fantasy country where the president, his name is Alexander Purchinov. But let's just call him Putin. He really looks like Putin.
Patton.
Yeah, so the story is basically about this powerful country president named Alexander, where he gets isekai to another world. But the thing is, this guy, there's only one thing he wants in life: to ride things.
He wants to mount the bear.
Yeah, he wants to mount anything that comes in his path. So imagine he's like a
So like a giant dragon shows up.
He's like
I'm gonna mount that.
Yeah, he's an old man already, but then he has his political training, martial arts training. He's really powerful even in the other world without any blessings from some god because he is the god. And then
You would probably ride a god.
yeah, he'd probably write a god. So read this manga. It's hilarious. Though unfortunately, there's only like 7 translated chapters, but each of them is pretty good. What else can I recommend? This gives some heartwarming stuff as well. I like this manga. It's called Sewayaki Kitsune no Senko-san. You've read it, Aliyah?
Yes.
Okay, so I like this one because it's really simple. So, humanity is really sad and all anxious and all depressed, negative feelings. So these kitsune, they're like, what are they, like goddess figures?
Yes.
Yeah.
The
in
fox.
this world. The
Fox, yeah. Those in the shrines, you'll see foxes and
Yeah,
stuff.
so these divine beings, these kitsune, they want to help the humans. And how are they going to do it? Well, the main heroine here, she decides, That's easy to solve. I just have to make them happy by like taking care of them and spoiling them and making
Being a waifu.
being the perfect housewife. So she goes to the mortal realm, picks our unsuspecting main character up, and just babies him and makes him feel happy and loved again.
Well, the main character didn't want her because she
Yeah.
looks like
A child, but nothing lewd. I don't think.
What's wrong with
all
that?
fluff
It's
What's
all
wrong
fluff.
with children?
It definitely,
and tail fluffing.
I'm not originally the type of guy. Actually, no.
No, you totally are the kind of guy who'd be into that.
Fluffy tails. I would definitely fluff those tails. That sounds weird. But yeah, it's heartwarming. There. Is there anything else? No, I'll leave it to Anton to suggest the rest.
Okay.
You have anything?
Alright. I'm just gonna name a lot because I read a lot of manga. But I'll start off with the things that have anime adaptations, and I just won't really talk much about them. Okay, so you have Gotobun, you have Kaguya, Shield Hero, Takagi. I like Takagi, but
Yes.
I haven't watched anime actually, so.
There's a Tagagi spin-off
Yeah, and then there's the
where
Takagi spin-off where she's an adult and it's about her daughter and her.
getting married with
Yeah, spoilers!
It's obvious.
Grand Blue, which is basically a gag manga about college life, I guess. About
And drinking.
And drinking, lots of drinking.
Hinamatsuri.
Yeah, Hinamatsuri. I actually haven't watched or read that, so I
really?
just put it on my list because I put everything on my list.
I'm not popular, so blank.
Well, you have the obvious things like My Hero, which honestly, with that, I don't know. You might as well just watch the anime if you don't really mind that much. And yeah, okay. So that's about it. Oh, yeah, that's about everything. So I'm gonna start naming stuff off that's like doesn't have an anime adaptation now. So okay, my main the manga that I probably am enjoying the most right now is Witch Hat Atelier. Which Steve and I we play D&D. Your set is actually kind of
Based
patterned off multiple characters from
I
this. I like this manga a lot because, well, from a surface value, the art is really great. The author is actually, she works on like Marvel comics. Like she does some alternate covers for some comics. I don't read comics, so I don't really know. But when I check her like Tumblr, she like shows that she's drawn like alternate covers for some issues. But basically, the plot of this manga is there are witches, and they're not a secret, but their methods are a secret. So they kind of keep it a secret that
Like magicians.
they keep it a secret that people like they give you the impression that you can't become a witch unless you're like born into it, but actually anyone can learn magic. And so the reason they keep that secret is because they think magic is too powerful, and if anyone can use magic, then it's too much chaos. So the main character is this girl. She loves magic. It's kind of like Little Witch Academia. She loves magic, and she receives this book that from this suspicious person that
Of course you take
and
it.
then he's like, oh, this, if you want to be a witch, use this. And then so eventually she ends up causing a big disaster in her city or town, village. And then in order to try and fix it, she gets adopted basically into an atelier of this other witch who's, you have to be like licensed to be able to teach other people. So he basically runs like a little school or an atelier. So a little like a home where he just teaches magic to his 3-4 different students.
What's the goal in this manga?
Well, it's still not that deep into it, but the main villains are basically trying to like resurrect or they're trying to bring
Demon
back
god
the
or
not a demon god, but they're trying to bring back like the forbidden magic because there's lots of magic because of there's like a war with using magic, and so they have a lot of bans on magic. You can't use magic to alter physical form. You can't use magic for this. You can't use magic for that. I think healing magic is also banned. So like
Too powerful.
yeah, so what they want to do is I think the whole goal is basically they want to take the main character, and they want to use her like, as a vessel. It's like she is an unknowing, which so they call like muggles, I guess. It's someone who doesn't use magic, and they want to basically they want to kind of turn her to their side, but we don't really know what their true intentions are yet. So we're only in like chapter maybe 20-30ish. So yeah,
Interesting.
I really like that one. It's probably my favorite manga right now. So whenever I see an update for it, I get happy. Especially because I'm actually not sure what the release schedule is like. Okay, what else? Oh, this is another manga that I like a lot. This is for people who like exercising.
Oh.
It's called Danberu Nan Kiro Moteru, or How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift. It's basically an instructional. I call it a lewd instructional manga, where it's part just lewd and part teaching you how to exercise. It's just a manga that teaches you about a bunch of different exercises and exercise techniques, but it's also really lewd. So they'll always show you they'll show you characters because they need to show the muscle groups. They'll tell you what muscle groups it works, and then you'll see they're like naked girls, and they're showing the muscle groups. It's a comedy, and it's also lewd, but it's also instructional. That's why I like it, because
Tons of sweat.
as someone who just started exercising recently, it's an inspiration for me to learn about all these different techniques and stuff.
And it's also comedy about the brother.
And it's also comedies because everyone's like just buff as hell and it's weird. Okay, let's see what else. This is another instructional manga that I mean. It's called If You're Gonna Dress Up, Do It Like This.
Yes.
So unlike it's kind of like done better, except instead of being about exercise, it's about dressing up. It's not quite as instructional. It's more, I think, more conceptual, but like
daily life type of manga.
It's about a guy who wants to learn how to be fashionable, basically. Which hashtag relate. You can
Relate.
Hashtag
I might
relatable.
read that one.
So okay, this is another one I really like a lot. It's called Jaku-chan Tomozaki-kun, and it's basically
Jackie Chan.
this is a manga about someone. Oh, have you read this? So this is a manga about a dude who's trying to become a normie, and hashtag relatable. So yeah, the guy, he's like a total loser. He's like kind of like your Hachiman kind of character, where like he's super, like no one likes him, or like he's like a loner.
Is that the one who's the top gamer?
Yeah, he plays Smash. Literally, it's just Smash. It's a different name, but it's literally Smash. And he meets a girl who is like the number 2 player. He's the number 1.
But
and
but she's a normie.
Yeah, but she's like a humongous normie. Like even though she's the number 2, she's a girl gamer. She's a siren.
I'm a siren.
I'm a siren.
So basically, the girl.
So the girl, basically, she's like, I can't accept the fact that you beat me in this game. You're better than me in this game, but you're such a loser in real life.
Ooh.
So she decides to like tutor him on the ways of being a normie. Smile, smile when you see people. This is how you start conversations. This is how you keep a conversation going. So in a way, it's kind of instructional, but it's more like plot focused. I like it because I can hashtag relate to the guy wanting to become a normie. That's always been one of my goals in life.
You'll be a normie in the future.
I don't know.
You just gotta be number 1 in Smash.
We're working towards it.
Anything else?
Oh, I like this one. I guess you can just count this as a double rec. Asobase, whatever.
Asobi.
Yeah, that one. And this is another one by the same author called Little Chaos. It's basically that, except the art style is super weird and it's about little girls instead. So you can imagine like the weird, vulgar, crazy stuff that happens in that manga. So yeah, it's basically a gag manga. Okay.
You have a lot of manga.
My senpai is annoying. It's a shorty. It's one of those where like the chapters can be like really like 1 page to 6 pages.
Why is there one called Nickelodeon?
Oh, that one, because the Nickelodeon is basically like a theater. It's not that's where they got the name for the channel. It's a theater, so this is like a anthology manga. Oh, okay, this one. Nozoman no Fushi no...
Oh, I'm reading that too.
Yeah,
I got that from you.
This is something I recommend to Stephen because I'm like, this feels like a light novel. So I guess it's probably a light novel actually. It's probably based off one. So I recommend to Stephen knowing he likes this kinds of stuff. So the main character is this guy. He's been an adventurer for like 10 plus years, but he's still bronze tier.
He's a scrub.
He's a scrub, but
no talent.
Yeah, but everyone in town loves him because he is such like he's done earnest, so much for them. Even though he's a bronze tier scrub, he has done so much, and he's helped progress the town so much, helped relationships among people, and helped make maps for all these different dungeons. But he's a bronze tier, so he's not strong.
But it doesn't end there?
Yeah, but it doesn't end there. What happens is he gets killed by a giant like gaping dragon and gets turned into a skeleton.
Yeah, he got incinerated.
Yeah. So he died, he became a skeleton, and now he's a monster. And the thing about monsters is if they kill other monsters, they can basically like evolve. Like Pokemon. So as he continues to kill different, so as a skeleton, he goes around killing a bunch of other skeletons, and then he turns into a ghoul. and then we don't know where there.
Yeah, so like, how is he gonna live his life now? People know him, but then suddenly...
Yeah, but he's gone, so he has to live a new life, and he has to hide the fact that he is a ghoul, but he's probably gonna evolve into something else after this, who knows?
Yep.
So yeah, that one's really cool. If you like fantasy, I actually really like the art. Aside from the girls look really generic, but the guys all look really like, kind of like dark fantasy-ish. It's kind of... It kind of annoys me because why do the girls look like cute anime girls and the guys don't? So,
Fashion sense.
that's fascism, dude. So
No.
that's fascism. Okay, Nagatoro. If you
Full name.
please don't bully me, Nagatoro. So if you have Takagi, which is more like wholesome, Nagatoro.
Wholesome teasing versus
This is like more vicious, I guess.
vicious.
She's definitely in love with him, just like Takagi's in love with Nishikata. Except her teasing is a lot more.
Intense.
Boundary on bullying.
Yeah, it's basically bullying. That's why it's in the title. Please don't bully me. She's actually just bullying him, but she's actually in love with him. But all in good fun. I think he understands. It's just a cute,
It's
fun
a language
manga.
of love.
Language of love is bullying. So
We're not romanticizing bullying.
yeah, but bullying is not good, especially in manga. Like they tend to romanticize a lot of things. And let's see. Oh, Ancient Mage's Bride is another one. That's an anime, but
Yep, it does.
more. I love magic. The reason why I like Witch Atelier so much is actually because I just love witches and magic in general. So anything with magic in it, I tend to gravitate towards. This is another one. This is a Girl from the Other Side. It's set in like basically just a complete fantasy world. It's kind of like a storybook. That's how
Interesting.
it's kind of like a
Simple.
fairy tale story kind of setup. So the girl, her name is Shiva. I like that because Shiva.
In
So she gets abandoned in the woods, and she gets taken in by a monster. I don't remember what they're called, like the cursed or something. And basically, it's like an infection, kind of like a zombie. Like if you're near and infected, then you are a cursed one. You'll become a cursed one too. But she's special. She doesn't get cursed. So her grandmother left her or her aunt I think left her in the forest because everyone was getting infected in their town. So she gets taken in by this kind guy she calls teacher, who's an cursed one, and it's just about it's not. I wouldn't say it's a slice of life because it definitely gets a plot as it goes along. But yeah, that one. If you're in the art style is really interesting. It's very different. It's not what you usually see because, like I said, it's more storybook.
The beauty of manga.
Yeah, and this author actually all I think it's a girl. All her manga is like human with some kind of monster. Interesting, and she's just really into that. The idea of like humans and monsters. Oh, this is when Tonikaku Kawaii or
Basically, it's
From the creator
Hayate.
of Hayate, the combat butler.
it's just Hayate except
He's married.
except he's married to her.
To Hinagiku.
And yeah, that's about it. All the things I can recommend. Of course, there's
That's
a lot.
a lot of recommendations from
Yes.
Anton. I think we should expect a list to come from you. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, I like manga. I really like manga. I mean, my list is 176 manga, except
That's a lot.
136, but majority of them I haven't read. I just listed them down as like, going to read them, basically. So
but you never get to read.
yeah, especially
That's the problem.
list just keeps getting bigger and bigger. It's like, oh, there's some new reading list out. Makes another 3 more to my list. And of course, there's all the manga that I've already read that are done. You have any manga that you guys really like that's done? You want to recommend? For me, I'd guess Pun Pun or Yasumi Pun.
Yeah.
Yes,
Pun
yes,
Pun.
Pun Pun.
When we go there, it's probably like classic territory.
Yes.
Yeah, the Full Metal Alchemists and
Hayatus X Hayatus is ongoing.
Say the real name.
Hunter X Hunter. Hunter x Hunter.
wait, is Hunter x Hunter is it
Yes.
currently like updating right now?
No.
Oh, okay, right now it's not.
But
Has it moved on since the Chimera Ant arc?
yes.
Okay.
But it's still not enough to finish the next arc. So I'm just waiting for it to finish so I can just read the entire arc at once.
Sad.
You have
Because I'm
Yeah,
waiting
that's it.
anyway. So might as well read the whole arc at once.
yeah, you have Berserk, the other hiatus manga. Always is on hiatus. Yeah, I don't read as many classics as I probably should, just because
I don't read much manga. Overall, I'm more of a light novel and anime guy.
yeah, like on the other side, I don't read any light
one that I
novels.
can recommend is Love So Life. It's about
Love Live.
No, no. with finger snaps. It's about a high school girl who is babysitting baby twins.
Oh,
And-
I think I know this one.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a romance manga, but it's mainly focused on the growth of the twins. So it's really fluffy and nice. So that's one finished manga that I really recommend. So
There we go. I think that's all we can recommend and talk about for this session on manga.
On mangoes.
Okay, how does Mac usually wrap up his after hours? Pretend Mac is wrapping it up. Okay, guys, thank you for as always. Thank you for listening to our podcast.
Yeah, maybe go read some mangoes.
Yeah,
go
read
eat some mangoes while reading some mangoes. Maybe
Yeah.
you're in school or something, just turn on your data and read some manga.
And discover that the source is a light novel or there was an adaptation.
Yeah, and, then you
Manga is great. Go read it. You become a more amazing person.
avid reader.
Avid reader.
I mean, I don't like
Reading is good, guys.
I don't like reading things without pictures. So
Alright, so perhaps maybe next time we could have a different medium of anime. Probably light novels.
but if
Hint, hint.
we talk about light novels, you're the only one who's gonna have anything to say.
That's true. So, okay. Thank you guys again. I have been Stephen.
I've been Anton.
I've been Aliyah.
And I have been Eric. Just kidding, Eric's not here. Thank you, Eric, again. And we can end here. Yay!
Goodbye. Yay. Okay.
We're so bad at wrapping it up.
This is not my joke.